Howdy folks, welcome to Reborn Gaming Network. My name's DMAC, and today we're going to be covering the most toxic first-person shooter of the early 2000s, Counter-Strike Source. Now many of us remember the lobbies from the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and just how toxic they could be. But those lobbies are like baby daycare centers compared to the lobbies from Counter-Strike Source. I'd love to show you some gameplay footage from a public lobby in this game, but I can't do that. Not because they don't exist. No, Counter-Strike Source, despite its age, still has a bit of a cult following, and lobbies can be found and joined. The problem is, if I did that, most likely this video would be flagged and removed from YouTube due to the heinous nature of the voice chat. Instead, I'll be launching a private lobby against bots so that we can examine the gameplay mechanics of Counter-Strike Source. We'll be comparing these mechanics to Valve's latest baby, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and seeing how the two fare against one another. Now, Counter-Strike Source initially released November 1st of 2004. It was a remake of the original Counter-Strike in what was then, at the time, Valve's new Source engine. Other games made on this engine include Half-Life and Garry's Mod. So, very popular and successful games have been built using this Source engine, and Counter-Strike Source is no exception. From 2004 until 2012, when Counter-Strike Global Offensive released, it was one of, if not the, most popular first-person shooters on the PC platform. And even to this day, many people prefer it over Global Offensive due to some slight gameplay mechanic differences, such as bullet spread being more manageable, movement speed being a bit faster due to how the Source engine works. Now, with that said, I don't necessarily recommend that you buy Counter-Strike Source, and I say that as one of the people that prefer Source over Global Offensive. Let's go to the Steam store quick. Here we're on Counter-Strike Global Offensive's page. It's currently free to play, or if you want the Prime status upgrade, is a one-time fee of $15. Now, this $15 buys you the latest and greatest, aside from the CSGO 2 beta, of course, Counter-Strike game. It gives you the latest and greatest anti-hacking countermeasures. It gives you the latest and greatest reporting measures for toxic players. Yes, the CSGO community is still fairly toxic, but due to the reporting capabilities that you have in-game, it is nowhere near as bad as CS Source. CS Source, on the other hand, is inundated with hackers because of its almost 20-year-old anti-hacking countermeasures that can be very easily bypassed. There is essentially no reporting system for that toxic community, and the game is still valued at $10 US. So unless you really enjoy the mechanics that you see in our 15 minutes of gameplay, I recommend you just stick with Global Offensive. But let's go ahead and jump into a bot match and see these gameplay mechanics. Now, one thing you'll notice if you play Source, the maps are split into two categories, CS underscore and DE underscore maps. A CS map is a hostage rescue. A DE map is a bomb defusal map. You'll notice some of these maps are very similar to those in Global Offensive because they were actually ported from this game. For example, CS Office, DE Inferno, and Nuke. I'm going to play Nuke as it's one of my favorite maps. And as we do so, if you're familiar with Global Offensive, take note to some of the interesting layout changes between this version of Nuke and the current iteration of Nuke from Global Offensive. Now, an interesting feature with Source is there are skins. They're not skins to buy, but when you pick Terrorist or CT, you have several skins to choose from to kind of make your character your own. And when I say several, there's really only 4. But as I pick CT, you can see we have SEAL Team 6, GSG-9, SAS, and GIGN. I'm a big fan of the British SAS gentleman, like his gas mask and helmet. That's who I will be playing as. Now, just like Counter-Strike Global Offensive, barring a custom lobby, the first round is a pistol match. We'll be taking this 228 compact and attempting to lay down the law on these terrorist AI scum. Speaking of AI, the AI in this game is certainly a product of 2004. While it's not awful, it is terrible. You can notice that rather than trying to go plant the bomb, the AI terrorists just all rushed and met us outside. And we rushed the exact same direction, so all of our dudes met up with pretty much all of their dudes. This is a statistical probability that this will happen. 99% of the time, the AI, no matter what map you're on, be it a CS map or a DE map, are just going to run to the same location on round one and collide with each other, totally ignoring the objectives. Now, it doesn't happen every time, but 99% of the time, that's what's going to happen. After the initial collision, the AI will spread out, so now we are hunting two very stupid AI, or one very stupid AI, that is just wandering this map right now. It can be quite annoying to say the least.
Anyone see anything?
I'm afraid I do not.
Nothing moving over here.
They finally found him. Now, one thing the AI is good at in this game are their aim bots. Even on this normal difficulty level, these bots will absolutely one-tap you right in the noodle with their AKs. Just absolutely lay you down. It can get quite interesting. Another interesting mechanic of the AI is that oftentimes when the AI run into each other, they will stop and look at each other for a couple of seconds before firing. And in that case, the first AI to fire is the first to win the fight. Ooh, watched him get laid down. So essentially, if you're just playing AIs, oftentimes you run into a situation where RNG is going to decide who wins the match. Whew! Got it. Now you can see there, I headshot that guy just bang, 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 bang with this 228. That's not a product of this pistol. That's how bullet spread works in this game. It is much more manageable, similar to like a Call of Duty game or other more mainstream FPS. So rather than having those goofy spray patterns of Global Offensive, you have a more manageable, a more typical experience with your spread in this game. It's one of the reasons why people prefer it, myself included. Ooh, 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 ooh. Now, see, he just knew I was up here.
Report in, team. He's got the package. Right there. Clear.
Oh, this is bad. Oh! Another interesting thing with the AI, as old as the system is, they pretty much know where you are. So that AI instantaneously knew I was up there. There's no awareness system because it was 2004. We're lucky we got what we got, right? So you have that to be aware of. Now, going back to the gunplay and bullet spread mechanics, one thing that is interesting is bullet penetration. So the way this game worked, bullet penetration and damage was kind of linked. So to make the op as powerful as it was supposed to be, it has an insane amount of bullet penetration. And it's one of the reasons that the hacking in this game is so bad. You run into aimbotters in Global Offensive all the time. Their aimbotters are far more tame than aimbotters here. I highly recommend you go to YouTube and Google CS Source Op aimbotting. You will see videos where people are shooting through the entirety of the map on DE Dust 2 and getting headshots because of how the bullet penetration to damage ratio has to be set up, how that works for the op in particular. It's whew, brutal, brutal. And another reason why I recommend you avoid Source compared to Global Offensive. Now, we've talked about the AI in great length. We've talked about the gunplay, the graphics, and the sound effects. They're not bad given the time period. Could this game look better? I mean, look at Global Offensive versus this. Graphics have definitely come a long way. Compared to other games from this era, Source looked great and the sound effects weren't bad. Now, you don't have that great reverb like you have in more modern shooters. Gun sounds seem a little weak, but overall, it's a fair experience, we'll say.
Bombs at A.
Crap.
3 to go.
Bombs at A, and these terrorists know exactly where I am. Oh!
Yikes. Can you support over here? There's one left. Nice. Got the situation under control.
But there's still one left. I'm going to start defusing this bomb and just get dome piece to my noodle. Where did they get him? No, he's still there.
It's all up to you, sir.
Yeah. I know. I'm worried here. Okay, we're good. I don't know where that bot went, but he went off and had a nap apparently. Ooh, you love to see it. When a guy runs and hides and he still gets dome piece before the end of the match, love to see it. Better get a defusal kit this time. I mean, just look at some of these textures. Like if we go to this corrugated metal here, you can see some little holes and rust and scratches on it. Just, you know, they did pretty good, all things considered. Dang, my aim is off today. There we go. I don't know if I legged him or not. Dang! Apparently, I just can't op today. Ah, there we go.
Well done.
You can see, like, on this crate, you can see a little, like, tiny hole. An effect of a hole in the crate, right? The tires on this forklift. You can see rust. You can see the tread of the tires. It's not bad. There are actually games made today, you know, by some smaller indie devs, of course, that just don't look quite as good as Source does.
Bombs on the ground here.
There
3
we
to
go.
go. They took the bomb.
What's that? No, that's one of our guys.
2 enemies left.
Hard to say where these guys are going to wind up coming from. Ooh, oh, that's my guy.
Hey, bombs here on the ground.
Ooh, there we go. Love to see it. Love to see it. We're quickly approaching our 15-minute mark, folks. We'll play this last round here, and then we'll sign off. Hopefully, having a solid look here of CS Source has given you a bit of an appreciation for what we have now. I know some people really complain about Global Offensive, some of its mechanics, but compared to this, I really think we went a strong step in the right direction, and I hope that we continue to see those steps in the right directions as we continue on with Global Offensive 2 and whatever the next chapter might be in the Counter-Strike world. Despite all of that, this game definitely, as a product of its era, is one of the better FPSs out there. And if you're a glutton for punishment, if you just got some cash to burn, might be worth checking out. You might find you enjoy the gameplay a little bit more than Global Offensive, but I'll leave that for you to decide for yourself. Well, folks, we thank you for joining us here on Reborn Gaming Network. My name's DMAC, and as always, we'll see you in the next video. Take care.